Hello, let us talk about the tragedy that is the current economy and the system that we live in. We have layoffs, we have furloughs, we have government shutdowns, we have um, benefits being taken away from people in a time where obviously people need these benefits the most, right? And there's a line from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill that's been sitting with me, and it's more or less the starting point of all achievement is desire. Now, stick with me here because we're going to talk about how, in times of great distress, positivity can come out if you allow it to be. But it kind of starts of this line from desire. So, this video shouldn't be too long, but if you are someone who has been laid off, is furloughed, is thinking about the next steps, this video is literally for you. And I'm speaking from as someone who was laid off literally the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, came to work, had an all hands, no longer had a job, right? So I'm not saying this from, I've lived this, right? And a lot of opportunity came from it, which we'll talk about later. But I just wanted to share this with you, okay? So, as I mentioned, Napoleon's quote is the starting point of all achievement is desire. And I just want to put point here, it's not necessarily skills, it's not degrees, it's not connections, it's not anything else but desire. The reason why I say it's not skills, it's not degrees, it's not connections is because your skills, you can learn them. Your degrees, you can earn them. Your connections, you can create them, right? And when you decide what you want, when you have that desire, then you figure out what you need to get there, right? I think so many people start off the bat with like, I need this, I need this. And sometimes you don't, right? Right? Because the world feels really, really shaky right now with layoffs happening, budgets are tight, right? We're being told to just wait things out and see. What actually keeps you moving isn't stability or the perception of stability. It's really hunger. It's a decision that no matter what's happening around you, you're still building something for yourself, right? That is what keeps you going. That desire to achieve no matter what will have you seeing opportunities where in the past you might have seen not, right? We're in such a weird moment right now where every week someone's posting about some tragedy that's happening, right? Something that is impacting people's lives in such negative ways. And that is heartbreaking because we are not only individually living through our own lives, we're also seeing this around us, and it is not great. However, we also see people are still thriving and winning in terms of careers. People are still landing new roles. They're pivoting into new industries. They're launching projects that align with what they actually want. They're getting contracts, right? So what separates the two? I was talking to my cousin the other day and I said how I was baking and it was Monday afternoon. She said, "Oh, like you're living the soft life because you're baking." And I was like, honestly, I need to create pockets of sanity for myself because I have my job, I have other projects I'm working on. And if I have a desire to have some form of grounding for myself that is not tied to money all the time. And baking makes me happy, makes me do something with my hands, and I like to eat. So it works out, right? I have that desire and I go for it despite everything else that's going on around me, you know? So I just want to say that. So what separates the different types of people who are seeing opportunity and who are seeing challenge is it's not luck. But it's clarity, it's direction, and again, it's desire. Because here's what happens when everything falls apart, right? You either get stuck replaying the loss. I know when I was laid off, I kept thinking like, "Oh, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better?" And then at some point, you just end up digging yourself in a deeper hole. So you kind of just have to be like, it is what it is, but you can get curious about the opportunity, right? Once you're laid off, you no longer have to, be in that 9 to 5. You can think to yourself, what did I love about this job? What did I hate about this job? What do I want to replicate? What do I never want to deal with again, right? And that is the beauty of moments if we find that opportunity, right? So the desire is the thing that keeps you from settling, really and truly, right? It's what makes you say, even though this is hard, this layoff happened, this tragedy happened, I'm not done. This is an opportunity for me to pivot. This is for me to find a new way, open a new door, right? Because layoffs and furloughs don't erase your value. And I think, especially in American society, we attach so much of our self worth and our identity to our job titles. And when you're laid off, you're forced to reimagine that. You're forced to look at yourself and say, what do I have? What am I bringing to the table outside of this job title, outside of this company, outside of being able to attach myself and say, oh, I work at Amazon, I work at Google. You can no longer say, oh, I'm a program manager at Google, right? You're stripping that. So what do you have left? And that's where desire comes in, right? As you strip away the titles, the job security, the what people think, what's left? That's a real question. What is left, right? What do you actually want to build next? What do you actually want to be part of next? What are you curious about? And these aren't like fluffy self help woo woo questions. They're strategic ones that'll help you lead down the path of happiness. And quite frankly, if you're curious about something, if you want to understand it more, you're going to ask questions. And if you ask questions, you build better things. And that is how money and opportunities attract themselves to you, right? Desire shapes our focus and focus shapes our results. So once you have a desire, I tell my clients all the time when I'm supporting them of what do you want? Before we start pulling up job boards and resumes that no, what do you want? What is your desire? What type of life do you want? Right? For me, after my layoff, I took a year off and I realized what I wanted was to get as close back to that life as possible. And that included baking. So I found a job that was remote that gave me the flexibility, the freedom to take a step back, to actually take my lunch, right? And not be working in front of my computer 24/7. Understand the desire and that'll shape your focus and it'll shape your results. I think this is like so key and like so key. And I just want us to like embrace that like so hard. Right. When Napoleon Hill wrote about desire, he wasn't talking about wishful thinking. He meant like definitive, like the kind that pulls you forward. Desire says, I know what I want. I'm willing to work for it. I'll keep adjusting until I get there. Any obstacle you put in my way, cool. We're gonna figure it out. And in a year or two from now, we're gonna tell these stories and be kikiing about it, right? And that's not delusion. Like, I know we want to be like, oh, everyone's delusional. Or maybe it is delusion. I don't know, right? And you can call it delusion. You can call it discipline. You could call it direction. Like, whatever do you want to call it, right? Like, you call it whatever you want, as long as you are focused and you're moving forward, right? And I've seen this in my own career pivots. Every single time I changed industries from nonprofits to local government to higher ed to ed tech to SaaS, it wasn't random. I had a desire for what I wanted my life to look like, whether that was time, location, bank account, whatever, or a question I was chasing, right? I've always had a desire to show me where my skills could stretch to next. And I talk a lot about not always jumping to a new certification or degree. I have not needed a new certification or degree in all my jumps. I've gotten them, but at no point did anyone in a conversation, excuse me, say to me, it's not even on my resume. So like at no point is like anyone like coming to me because of my certifications. I got my undergrad in human psychology and human development and applied psychology, sociology, minor in philosophy. I got my master's in social work. I started out as a school social worker and now I work in SaaS or tech. Right. And at no point was I like, I'm going to go back to school to get my MBA, my this, my this, my this, my that, because quite frankly, I think my desire is my belief is that I have everything in me and I can learn and grow organically. Right. And yes, you can take extra classes, you can do extra things, but that is not my first focus. Right. Because my titles have changed, but the hunger to grow and adapt and apply my learnings have always stayed with the same. And that has helped me grow. Right. So if you've been recently laid off, furloughed, or you're just anxious about the uncertainty, I want to offer this to you, right? Layoffs do not erase your value. They reveal what is possible, right? They reveal what that other pathway was that maybe you were ignoring because you figured, let me hold on to this, right? And Hill reminds us of something super powerful. He says, opportunity often comes disguised as misfortune or temporary defeat. So we don't see it as opportunity, but it is, right? Most people stop at that disguise, that haze, that, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? right? Seeing layoffs as rejection, the silence when you submit resumes or after interviews, that whole waiting period. And what I hear a lot from people is, "Oh, I failed," and you haven't. You just started. It's the moment before the breakthrough. In my other videos, I'm not even going to belabor it, but I talk about applying for jobs I'm not hearing back or making it to the final round of a few interviews and not getting the offer. And what I did there is I tweaked, I adapted, and then I got all my offers and I was able to negotiate and do everything, right? This is what I help my clients with because it's the work that needs to be done. Because if you're making it through life and if you have the desire, you will find a way. And you might need help to find the way, but you will find a way. Opportunity does not always announce itself, and that's the thing that's annoying, right? Because my gosh, like danger, grief, sadness, even though layoffs are kind of sudden for the individual, like you hear it in the news so much. Oh my God, we're going through layoffs. This is like you hear so much of what's happening in the world. So negativity announces itself so loud, but opportunity not so much. It opportunity comes some just as chaos, and that's what a lot of us are going through right now in this current economy. And the people who rise are in these seasons aren't necessarily the ones who have it easy or a silver spoon or whatever you want to call it. They're the ones who learned to read and see the disguise for what it was, right? Because they have desire, because desire is a voice that says you can rebuild, you can redirect, and you can evolve to be whoever you want to be. No holds barred. And at this point, I'm just speaking to myself because, like, our worlds can change so quickly after some of our biggest failures or perceived failures. And it's really up to us to have the desire to say, nah, I, my mother, my ancestors did not come this far for me to just come this far. That is no, no, no. you know? No. So once you stop clinging to the identity tied to your last job, your lost job or opportunity, and who did what to you, when, how, whatever, you open yourself up to something that might fit who you're becoming, who you're meant to be, and not who you were. Because let's be honest, we're all grateful for the jobs, but we all had the things that we're like, ugh, I wish I did not have to do this anymore. So now that you have the opportunity not to do it, what can you ramp up? There's no perfect job, but if you're now out of this job and you know, hey, I really enjoy this, how can you do more of that in your next gig? Having that shift, that's how people turn rejection into reinvention. And that's when people talk about rejection is redirection. That's what it is. Not to be corny, but that's that's what that is, right? So let's make this practical. Napoleon Hill outlined steps for turning desire into results. And I'm going to give you three of them, my simplified version. Step one, define exactly what you want, right? Not the vague, I just want a new job, I want this life. No, be specific. Say it like a strategy. Like, I want to transition into a client facing role where I use my communication and coaching skills to earn X amount of salary and work remotely. Be precise enough to build a plan. Be so precise, be ridiculously precise, envision it. Create that vision through your words. Step two, believe you can have it. So many of us walk around thinking that someone must be lucky or someone must be a nepo baby. We put all these stories on other people and we project so much on other people because we don't know how to get there. But that's mostly your mindset. Your mindset is the greatest gift you have or your greatest enemy. So every pivot, every thought starts here, right? So if you believe this isn't fluff and if you believe that you are able to achieve what you just said you will achieve, and look at your receipts of where you've come from. If you believe you can achieve, you will. If you don't believe you can get the role, your effort will always reflect doubt. So you won't put the effort into job searching. You won't put the effort into the resume. You won't put the effort into networking. You understand what I'm saying? Because you always find the reason why the system is unfair. The system is this, the system is that. And it can be all of that objectively. But it could also mean that you could still figure out a way. Yeah. So confidence is built by writing down your wins, rehearsing your achievements, tracking the impact you've made. When you do that, that's how it becomes easier to believe what's next for you. Right. So we just covered step number one, define exactly what you want. Step number two, believe you can have it. Step number three, plan but stay adaptable. They say God laughs at those people who make plans, but you still got to have a little outline. Right. Desire gives you the spark, discipline gives you the steering wheel. And the combination of both keeps you from being reactive to every new headline, every new TikTok scroll, threads, Instagram, whatever, you know? So combining desire with direction, you stop reacting to change and you start using it as your own momentum, right? And I'll leave you with this. There's a mistake a lot of people make after layoff or career shift. They rush into the job search before reconnecting with what they actually want, right? So people end up creating the same situation somewhere else, just with a new company. The same demons, the same ticks, the same annoyances. You run right back to it. So if you have the ability to pause, I recommend that you pause and get honest about your desire and stop chasing stability and start designing alignments because alignment lasts longer because even when things change, you're able to adapt quicker. Right. And that's the work I do with my clients. And I'm happy to help you with that as well. So work with me. Right. So if you're in transition right now, or you're watching your company shift and wondering what's next, don't just focus on what's being taken away. Ask yourself, what's being made possible? What do I actually want next? What's the bigger picture I'm building toward? Because every great reinvention starts with a little dissatisfaction and a lot of desire. There's a moment before you take your next chapter, you flip into your next chapter and you're like, why me? What is this world? But trust me, I am living proof. I am a girl from the Bronx whose parents, I don't want to get into my whole story right now, but my gosh, everything is possible for whatever we want if we have the desire. If you can hold on to desire long enough to act on it, you would set something in motion. And you not only will you survive the season, you outgrow it. The whole saying of you're going through it, that saying in itself is telling you what you need to do. You need to go through it. You need to work through it. You need to follow that desire through. The next version of your life, your career starts with a better question, not a better job board, not a another vision board necessarily. It is you literally creating a desire, writing it down clearly with the three steps I said earlier. Desire is more than ambition. It's like literally a compass to like where are we going, right? Every achievement, every reinvention, every comeback starts there, not with luck, not with perfect timing, but with desire. So, even if things feel uncertain right now, don't shrink your goals to fit your situation. If you've had the desire, the vision, you will get there. Build your situation to fit your goals. Find those opportunities. The quote I said earlier about opportunities come disguised as step backs and really gut wrenching moments. Allow yourself to see through the disguise and see the opportunity in that. That mindset shift and changes everything. And it's the work I do with my clients. So if you are in this space, let's work together. The link is in the description. Comments, questions, anything, leave it in the chat. And I will see you all tomorrow.